Good morning. Welcome to another Friday morning safety meeting. Today's October 17th, so we're more than halfway through the month of October, which is crazy. This week's safety news: 42 days without a reportable injury, 10 days without a first aid injury, 7 days without a vehicle incident. And I just want to point out that we're seeing a lot of incidents where we see the hazards, we identify the hazards, and then we have an incident with those hazards. So just be mindful of what you're doing. Always remember that time is of the essence, but not to the extent that we want to cause an incident. So,
Yep.
here we're going to talk about fire protection. So, when it comes to fire and fire extinguishers and stuff like that, you have what's called the fire tetrahedron. So, you have three different links, and if you take one of them away, then you take away the chemical chain reaction. So, you can take away the heat. So, if you put water on a fire, you take away the heat and the fire goes out. You can take away the oxygen, so like a halon system or something like that, where it pumps a gas into the area and replaces the oxygen, then the fire goes out. And if we take away the fuel, so if you have a campfire and then you take away the logs, what happens? Eventually it goes out. So you have different classes of fire. You have A, B, C, D, and K. So most of our fire extinguishers are going to be ABC dry chem extinguishers. So they're going to cover Class A fires, Class B fires, Class C fires. So that's going to be your ordinary combustibles like your wood, paper, stuff like that. Class B, which is liquids, flammable liquids, and Class C, which are electrical fires. Class D are going to be your combustible metals like magnesium, stuff like that. ABC extinguishers work better than most things on those, but typically it's going to be lots and lots of water that is needed for those. Class K ABCs also generally work for. That's kitchen fires, but they make a real mess in the kitchen. So we don't have any Class K extinguishers because we don't do commercial cooking, but you might see them out at restaurants and stuff like that. You're going to treat most of these fires the same when you're putting them out. The only difference really is Class B fires, which are flammable liquids. With those, if you take a pressurized extinguisher and spray it directly into the seat of the fire, which is the fuel, it's just going to kind of splash everywhere and not accomplish what you're trying to do. So what you want to do with those is kind of lay the dry chemical out onto the surface of the liquid, and that will make the fire go out. As you can see in this picture, there's a whole bunch of different extinguishers. On the left, you have your Class K extinguishers. Down at the bottom, you have all your ABCs. You have some specialty extinguishers in the middle. That silver one or stainless steel one towards the right is going to be your APW, your pressurized water can. Those can come in handy, especially if you're doing a lot of torch cutting or welding in a dry area where you might have to put out fires regularly. They're cheap, free to refill, which is great, but they have a higher sticker price to get. And then off to the right, you have your CO2 extinguishers. Those are not commonly used in what we do, and they're difficult to tell what their status is. So with the ABCs, you can look at the gauge, see that they're good, check the date. They need to be inspected by a professional annually. So you can look at the date on the tag and the pressure, know that you're good. And then if you have a fire, then you'll be ready to go. And the extinguisher has a 6-year shelf life. But like I said, it needs to be inspected every year. After 6 years, if it's a small extinguisher, they're going to throw it away. If it's a larger extinguisher, they're going to open it up, depressurize it, open it up, inspect the insides, repressurize it. So they teach you to use the pass method, which is pull the pin on the fire extinguisher. There's going to be a little plastic tag that you break. Then you're going to pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the lever, sweep from side to side. Like I said, the big exception to that is if you have flammable liquid on fire, you're going to, rather than spraying directly into the seat of the fire, you're going to try to lay that product on top of it. So there's different extinguishers that are prescribed for different applications by OSHA and stuff like that and DOT. So while transferring large quantities of fuel, you'll need a 20-pound extinguisher. So you'll see on the sites near the fuel cubes and stuff like that we have these big extinguishers. They're really expensive, so make sure that you're keeping track of them. You're not losing them and stuff like that. They're about $350 to $400 a piece. So just be mindful of that. Any fire extinguisher is going to be fairly expensive. Anytime that you're doing hot work, so welding, torch cutting, stuff like that, you're going to need a 10-pound extinguisher. And these extinguishers for any application are supposed to be 25 to 75 feet away. The reason why they're supposed to be more than 25 feet away is that if a fire suddenly erupts and it surrounds the fire extinguisher, then the fire extinguisher won't be accessible and therefore it doesn't do anything for you. Anytime you're operating CMV, you need a commercial motor vehicle, you need a 2.5-pound ABC. And inside of any occupied structures, it refers to NFPA 1 and NFPA 101. And that's not anything that anybody really has to worry about in our line of work. All projects should have at least 5 pounds worth of extinguishers. So whether it's 2.5 spread across trucks or whatever else, you want at least 5 pounds of extinguishing agent on every site.
Mm-hmm.
Things to be mindful of if you do decide to fight a fire. Obviously burns. Bigger things are going to be carbon monoxide though. That's going to cause a hazard to your health. Cyanide, asphyxiation, so lack of oxygen, and then long-term cancer, especially if you have chemicals and stuff like that burning. There's some other products out there too. Burn blankets, or not burn blankets, fire sheets, fire blankets, and then on the left side, there's this cannonball looking thing, and you chuck it into a fire and it explodes and supposedly puts out the fire. So I got to play with those once. They didn't really put out the fire, but they're pretty fun to use. So.
Interesting.
Yep. So just make sure that if you need an extinguisher for different applications that you talk to Matt or myself, or the tool crib has access to them as well. If you go upstairs and there's not the correct size that you're looking for or style, just make sure you reach out and we can reorder them. Sometimes we get runs on fire extinguishers and don't realize it. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
So just one thing to add on the DOT side with our commercial trucks, 26,000 and 1 pound and over, those fire extinguishers need to be in there and they need to be mounted. They can't be rolling underneath the seat. We've been popped on some DOT compliance issues with that in the past. So when you're doing your pre-trip today, let's make sure our fire extinguishers are mounted, please. And if you need a mount, just come see us. We got plenty of them.
What do you guys do with the ones that are older than 6? Do we dispose of them, or
we started having the company dispose of them that we get them from? Just technically, we can just discharge them into a dumpster and throw them away once they're depressurized, but it makes a real mess and something that we don't really want to deal with. So.
Cool. Any other questions? Hopefully we don't have to use the fire extinguishers, but it's good to learn about how to do it properly. So thanks, Tom.
Absolutely. Last winter we had to use them a couple times in the shop. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Code of conduct item for this week is be prompt, start on time for work and appointments and projects, etc. I always say, try to plan ahead the best you can, but if you're not going to make it to a meeting, just let people know and don't try to speed and get there.
Truck too, but there's another one.
Oop, wait a minute. Okay. All right. You guys hear me okay? I just was cutting out a little bit on the sound.
We got you.
Okay, good. So now that we've got our ESOP statements, we've got ESOP beneficiary designation forms. We really want to make sure we get those out, get those done soon, because we're all of us that are less than 62 are going to be 100% vested, or not 100% vested. Sorry, I got to back up. We're 0% vested if we're under 62, except for a few exceptions, until December 31st. So by the time we become 20% vested in the plan, which will be on December 31st, we need to have all of our beneficiary forms done. Our goal right now is to get these beneficiary forms done by Friday, October 31st. And if you look here, Aaron Markle has created a link in the email for this beneficiary form, which will look like this. It says ESOP, ECI, Employee Stock Ownership Plan Beneficiary Designation Form. And that will be for family members or whoever you want to designate as the beneficiary to your account. So if we're eligible in 2024, we need to return a physical copy of this by the 31st. There is confidential information on this form, which includes social security numbers of your spouse or children. So we ask not to email social security numbers. So you can not electronically send it by email in a safe way. We don't have a portal right now that has a secure document receiving program. So either mail them or bring them up front. We might engage the safety team to help us to collect some of these forms at a later time. Aaron's got some reminders down here that you can read before you do it. Aaron, are you on? I don't know if Aaron's on this morning. If she has any other comments. I believe Aaron's on. So it's got some important reminders about selecting your beneficiaries, which I'll let you read on the email. Ownership topic of this week is to be accountable. The practice of accountability strengthens our team. It also enhances the spirit of our culture. It's about accepting responsibility for our actions and being answerable for the results. It builds mutual respect, higher morale, and job satisfaction. I list that some of the benefits are increasing our sense of ownership, building trust, stimulating collaboration. It's going to build self-confidence and competence as we're being responsible for the things we say and do. It increases our focus on the solutions because we actually admit that there might be something better to do. It enhances our compliance with rules and specifications as we're directing ourselves into trying to figure out the best way to do things, and it improves performance and efficiency of our team. A little statement I wrote: as employee owners, we owe it to ourselves and each other to take ownership of what we say and do. Our ability to admit mistakes and to learn from them helps us persevere and follow through on our commitments, provides us with a clear path. It's also going to contribute to our future wealth. So thank you for being accountable for the things that we say and do. Winter fuel, and Pat or any of the shop guys, you can chime in if you want. I hopefully transcribed some of the notes I got from Pat yesterday on winter fuel and equipment care. It's time to initiate winter fuel and equipment care procedures. Common items to remember from Pat and the service team: treat your fuel with the Power Service fuel additive. It's available in the shop. Generally, if you're filling up a transfer tank, you need 2 bottles, 1 bottle for an equipment tank fill up. And if you have any questions with that, contact the guys in the shop. They can help you with that. The other thing that's very important right now is draining water tanks and lines at the end of each shift, because it's down when it's down below freezing and we're putting these things away for the night or for several hours, they can freeze up and cause a lot of damage. These include but are not limited to hydroseeders, pumps, hoses, rollers, brooms, the mills, the drills. The drills actually have antifreeze that the guys use in some of that equipment. So make sure you're familiar with those procedures. I know the drillers are. The other thing that's coming up is warming up of your equipment before use, especially when it's below 20. degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you get the equipment warmed up. The guys like us to get it warmed up and carefully caress the hydraulic controls and get them moving a little bit before we do heavy use. I think it helps them to warm up a little bit so that they don't fail. Make sure to call the shop with any questions. Pat or anybody, do you guys have anything to add for this stuff? Okay. Let them know if you have any questions, please. So we had a surprise birthday, or not a birthday, a surprise 45 years of service celebration for Roger Atkins up at the River Road location. He's been a dedicated employee for 45 plus years now. I think his 45th birthday with ECI was on June 2nd. Many employees were there, as you can see in the photo, and we had a bunch of retirees here. Most recent retiree, Charlie Fecto, was there. We had Larry Chamberlain. John Zeno is behind Roger and I in this next photo, was there. Roger's receiving his plaque that I'll show you a picture of in a minute. And Roger's wife is just to the right. That's Bev. There's Roger with his beverage. If you're here 45 years, I'll give you a beverage too. It was a good event. It was beautiful weather. There's Maureen Pigeon on the left. And I don't know if many of you know or remember Larry Chamberlain. He's just right to the left of Pat Wells. Pat's on the right. Larry's got the blue ECI jacket on. Larry was here a lot of years. We've got Scott Burns in the next photo, next to Tom, Maureen and Tom Lawyer. There's Chamberlain again. Here's the plaque. Very nice plaque, maple. And there's Raj and his wife. I think he was very much surprised. That shows it all right there. I want to especially thank Elena for the photos. Elena came out on Friday and did a bunch of photos for us, and Veronica and Aaron helped out with snacks, and a lot of the other guys. Thank you all for all your participation in that one. Family Fun Day, which was the very next day on Saturday. It was great weather. A lot of families, grandkids, kids. I had my grandson there. It was awesome. Thanks to everyone who put it together, especially again, Elena. I know you're out there. I think I saw you earlier. Thank you very much for putting this on. She came up with this idea either on her own or collectively with a couple others, but this event was awesome. We had different machines and equipment and stations, and everyone that was there I think had a great time. We had the 330. We had a mini excavator, a very popular dirt pile. Kids loved those. And adults too. Yeah, we got some good pictures. Thanks, Elena. Some happy guys in Eric's dump truck. Hopefully they didn't spill any food items on the seat. And here's the food crew. We had plenty to eat.
Yeah, the horns got exercised for sure. They all work.
That was the interesting thing. The kids know how to find the horn buttons, even on the skid steers and that little button on the left handle.
Yeah, they found
They were
it.
pre-tripping everything, you know.
They figured out where I didn't even know on that one skid steer where the horn button was, but my grandson found it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep. Trying to keep this thing moving. My browser's working really slow, as you can see. Here we go. It's moving now. Good photos. That one says it all.
Yeah.
Dad headed to the next station. Going to go teach the kids about the trench boxes, I think.
Yeah.
That's an awesome photo. That one should be framed, Elena. Okay. So thank you everybody for that. We've got we wanted to feature ECI milling and paving this week. I don't know if Jim, you want to speak on this one, and if you're available.
I can. Yep. As we near the end of the 25 paving seasons, as we're getting closer here, like Tom just said, we're over halfway through October, and November is fast approaching, which Thanksgiving is kind of pretty much our sort of end of the season. So we're nearing the end of the 25 paving season. Our schedule is full. Work to complete includes many ECI multidiscipline projects, as well as several commercial, municipal, even a few private driveways we have left. Scheduling on a daily basis is a challenging task as things change almost hour to hour, but we're going to get it done. So here's just a few miscellaneous photos from the summer here and fall. Here's mill and crew. I think that's actually Hunter up on the 4-footer over at that's over at Burlington, the airport, next to Beta. We're actually working for Ireland at the technical center, upgrading, renovating a nice big building over there. So doing a little milling for them. I think that the next photo is also, it's over at the airport adjacent Beta, just a different location there. Marking it out. I think.
Sorry, my machine's working slow, Jim. So I'm trying to scroll down.
No problem.
A couple of people commented on and sent me an email back about the lines on this photo. Those are the milling. That's what the milling looks like.
Scarified pavement, basically. Yep.
Which is interesting that some of us don't really. It looks a lot coarser than.
Yeah.
What it looks sometimes.
For sure.
Pretty cool.
So that was a good day. And I think the next one is, probably everybody knows this is up on Route 2A / Industrial Avenue, doing some trench patching on that busy project. Lots of things going on up there. This one's from back, I think, middle of summer down at the Champlain Parkway South. That's the second lift of base pavement going down, heading down towards Home Avenue, I believe. Looks like it, those big old rebar cages in the background. Our favorite inspector, Josh. This one's very recent. This is right on Main Street. People can tell we're right in front of the ski rack. Main and Pine, west side, milling the approach to get ready for top paving, which is going to be happening very soon. Here's same location, milling, and on the right, we're doing some base paving actually for the city, actually where they had a water break. So we're repairing that for them as well. That's on Main Street, looking west. See the lake in the background.
Is that on the left? That's the mill we were talking about yesterday?
Yes, correct. Yep.
We rented.
Renting. Yep. For a bit. And
there it is.
Yep. There's a nice little picture getting set up. So we've got a mill, basically transitions to get ready for top paving. Ski racks had a busy summer, I'm sure, with everybody. This one's from the summer down at the Charlotte Elementary School. Nice little school job. Basically repaved that whole place down there. That's kind of the top wearing course. We did a base on part of it and shimmed the other part of it. Came out nice.
Who are we working for there, Jim?
School district, Chittenden, whatever, CVU, that big monster school district, whatever that, Chittenden East, whatever, with CVU, Charlotte, Shelburne School District. Yep. They put out a job almost every summer at one of their schools.
I like Tim's flag on his truck.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. They're a big help. Tim and Corey are part of the crew. And here's pretty much the same place. Another pass. Going along, looking good. Here's kind of an interesting one. Eric, welcome. You might know where you recognize this. Heading out to Rock Point, the little one-lane bridge going over the bike path, I believe. We had this work for Ron Drush, DCS. I think he had a
Bridge that
challenging
made our
job.
job last a year longer than it should have.
Right. No kidding. Yeah. I think he had his frustrations with the city, and but we finally got the little bit of paving done for him, and
Yep.
he's happy. He's been a good client. We've done paving for him. Here's one a multidiscipline job down in Rutland. That's one of the railroad grade crossings, big, huge skew concrete panels. Doing some handwork. That was kind of a challenging job, thanks to Ron Wallen and his crew. This is down in Burlington too, I believe, on Pine Street, working on some aprons, curb patching. Been lots of work on that Pine Street. We're doing the finishing touches, paving the top course the last couple of days, and basically we're down to Main Street and I think King Street side roads. We're getting close. This one I had a little trouble is over actually in South Burlington, Brick Marcotte School. Nice little job that we bid on for South Burlington School District. There's Rose doing a little spraying for us. Thanks to her.
Yep.
Truck looks good. And we've done a lot of work for South Burlington, either the city, the school. Here's a more recent one. This is the Richmond I-89 northbound bridge. Kind of a big Band-Aid that needed it bad. The deck was kind of delaminating, peeling apart as everybody. So that's the bridge that goes over the railroad and the gravel road. Can't think of the name of it, but basically milled off and paved a big patch over it, temporary to get through to somewhere in the, I don't know, 3, 5, 8 years. Those bridges are under scope review. Apparently, they're going to be getting a big rehab coming out sometime in the near future. There's like 3 or 4 sets of bridges. You don't notice it, but over Route 2, this one, and then the big ones over the river. I think there might have been one more set right in there, all within like half a mile. So that was a little challenging. Traffic control, that on-ramp is literally right behind Brian's pickup. We had to close that for safety reasons and also kind of for access, getting up and back down. But went well. All done except for a tiny little bit of line scraping repair that L&D screwed up, but we're basically done. And this is Jim Sharon. There's Mr. Jason Peets doing a little handwork over right on Kimball Avenue, overlaying some sidewalk, showing his guns. Good job. Yep. Nice. Working together.
Good photo.
That's all I've got. We got to finish strong here. We got about a month left, a little over a month. So we'll keep it going.
Yeah. And it's a moving target. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dale.
I just wanted to say that in a lot of those pictures, the grading crew is involved in a lot of the patching and stuff. And it's on me. I didn't take very many pictures of them grading. Too. That's completely on me, but they are very important part of what we do also.
Every day.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for the grading. Thanks for the grading crew. We're thankful. Get more pictures of them, Daryl. Yeah, it's a moving target. It's tough this time of year and it's gets contentious sometimes. Trying to get all this stuff done by Thanksgiving a lot of times.
Basically, yep. And then I take on actually that paving or prep crews headed down to patch for Parent Construction down in Warren today. So they're all over the place too. And we do work for many other contractors. So it's good work. Keeps us busy.
It's a hard time of year for the paving guys, just because we put so many different, we try not to give you too many surprises, but it happens. And they're working a lot of Saturdays and they're working nights when they have to, and they work Saturdays.
Got a couple IDIQ jobs, or maybe a couple, but yeah. Yep.
So let's give them all the support we can. They have to clean up everything that we do.
We're going down to the last ones on, or we're ready for you. Okay. Ben, I don't think I know this guy. This is before my time.
Yeah, 87. That I can't remember. I wish some of the
Wow.
older guys were around. I'd call him. Probably
Would
Chamberlain
that be
would know.
Allen's Bronco, probably, or something?
Maybe.
Nah,
Oh, that's
maybe.
Al, one of the Broncos. Probably. We had two blue Broncos. One was Al Pigeons and one was Al Marcelino's.
Oh, maybe Al Marson.
When Alan left, that was our for a while the one that there were two sister Broncos, the blue ones, and that one there might be the one that we used for when we first started the ECI concrete finishing crew.
Wow.
In 1990, we used that, and all our concrete tools were in the back, and they drive it around. Someone stole it from the yard, stole one of our safes out of where the tool crib is, and they burned it up out on 289. One morning we came in, and Donnie Jakes had retrieved it. It was stolen and burned. That Bronco right there, about 1991. And that's the story behind the Bronco.
Burns might remember that paver.
Yep.
Maybe.
The AP 200. Yep. That was a few years ago.
Yeah, just a few.
That was 1 year before I came to ECI. Yep. And August 15th. No, October 15th, 10/15.
October, yeah. Almost
Almost, yeah.
38 years ago. 25,
Yep.
35, 6,
Yep.
38. Wow. All right.
Thanks, you, Jim.
Thanks, everybody.
Turn it back over to Tom.
Yeah, if you're watching a group setting, please send over attendance. Otherwise, have a great day, have a safe day, and enjoy your weekend.